Hello, and welcome to Good Games Well Played, episode 238. I'm Clint, aka JCM. With us this week is Isli,
Yo,
and Miss I isn't feeling well, so she won't be joining us unless maybe she wakes up and feels better later. But she had a migraine and no meds, so no Saya this week. Can't, can't hear more about Chaos Rings. Got to see if she finished the second one or not. But yeah, not too much this week. We had it's funny. The beginning of this week started with Ubisoft giving 60 FPS support updates to Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon, and Far Cry Primal on current gen consoles. And I was like, man, when you did the Far Cry 3, I forget what they called it, anniversary edition, whatever it was that came out a while back, I was like, that should have had 60 FPS from the jump. And I was like, okay, whatever. And maybe it did. But I feel like I had an issue, whatever, because I was like, oh, if I play this, I'll just play it on PC. But yeah, they added, 60 FPS for those games, so that's good. I Blood Dragon's a game I never actually finished. So I could go back to that, but I'll probably just replay that on PC. But yeah, it's Primal getting the 60 FPS boost is nice as well, even though I have that on PC, of course. And then 4
Primal
obviously
was
has
like one of the only ones I actually played, and I would go back and play that. That was a fun game.
yeah, I really want to. I was replaying it for a while there, where I was playing on like hardcore core mode. So like they get rid of some perks, like you can't use the owl, which was like your Assassin's Creed eagle in that game. So like you couldn't use that to scout, and it was like way more hardcore. Like a lot of the perks that were very more, I guess, video gamey perks, even though they were still kind of grounded in that world, they block them off, so you can't get them. So it's like, okay, the perks you get, like I don't think you can get health. You can't get health up perks. You have the health you have, and stuff like that. So like they get rid of some stuff, and I thought that was really cool. And I was like, man, I really want to replay that game. And I did for a bit when I first got my laptop, like, years ago, but I need to go back and actually do that and, like, replay the whole thing because there's some tough stuff in that game, especially if you looking at the perks they got rid of, I'm like, "Man," and plus, it's just a gorgeous game. I love that I love redwood trees, so, like, I mean, that's why I love Far Cry 5 so much because it's in the US, so there's a lot of regions with a lot of trees, and just I love that
Primal
visual,
was
but
just a fun game to run around in.
yeah, and taming the animals is fun, get saber-tooth tiger and whatnot, and, like, the crafting was way more important in that game because it's like you need to craft your weapons. Like, you have to do that, you have to craft all your healing items, so it just made all that hunter-gatherer vibe that they were going for just really work, and yeah, I really like, Primal. I think it's kind of a overlooked gem of the Far Cry series,
Which is
and
funny because in my mind, it actually might be like the best of the Far Cry games.
it takes the biggest chance of it. That's why I said, I was
Yeah.
like, "Man, I would love to see take expand on this." Like, do a Far Cry behind enemy lines thing where you are Owen Wilson, you're crafting stuff, you're, Metal Gear Solid weapons and equipment OSP style shit, and like you're just trying to survive in some other nation or something. Russia obviously would be the candidate, but like, some place where there's like a war zone going on, and because your plane goes down, whatever, and like you have to scavenge and actually do that and survive, build shelters, forest style, to live and just like go take a big chance and do that. I felt like could really work. Like they took a chance with Primal. They made a whole fucking caveman language, man. Like, uh, which is
I
why
would
I love.
love that. Like, I
Yeah.
this is always my problem with Ubisoft games, but like, I'd love it to be just like, just take more of a chance, do something a little bit different than what you did before.
Even if it was like, especially because Primal was like it was in between, so it was like the smaller game, and they just used the same map from Far Cry 4, but they just changed all the biomes. So it's like you wouldn't know where you were if you unless you're at the lake, which is like the biggest, most recognizable point of interest in that game. Like unless you're there, you're not gonna know like, oh, this is that part of the map. It's like no, because the when you change the biomes, it's like when games you play in mirror mode. Like if I play a game in mirror mode, I'm like, I don't know where I'm going, man. I don't know where anything is. Not in mirror mode. But yeah, it's like I wish they could take a smaller one and just do something crazy. Like but they stopped going that route kind of where it's like they didn't do that with 6 and 6 instead they did more DLC stuff, which is fine. I like the DLC and they took a chance they made the DLCs like roguelikes, which I thought was interesting. And I had fun doing that. Like an FPS roguelike. I thought that was really kind of fun in that world. Because I don't play too many roguelikes. But yeah, it wasn't like, oh, here's a standalone, Far Cry or a Far Cry 6 New Dawn style thing where it's, a sequel to the game or something. They just did DLC content, which was, it's fine. I enjoyed the fractured what do you call it? Fractured
I'm
man, I
surprised
can't
you didn't
fractured
play
worlds.
Blood Dragon if you like the
I did
one-off games like that.
I did play Blood Dragon. I played it when it came out. I just didn't beat it because it was like that was the first time they did it where I, played Far Cry 3 in 2012, and then Blood Dragon was an April Fool's game announcement, and then they're like, "Yo, let's actually make this." So they made it, and I played a lot of it. I just didn't finish it. And I think I forget what else came out because I don't remember if it came out in 2013, like the normal. Here's the game. A year later, here's the mini sequel. I think it might have been maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So I could have been playing something else at that time when it came out because yeah, let's in fact let me okay. Okay. Like I said, I didn't like stop at the beginning. I just played like probably like 3/4 of it, and then I just never beat it. Yeah, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Yeah, April 30th, 2013 is when that came out. So when did because 2013 was a big year because that's the year that the PS4 came out. It did it came out. Oh, that just lists there. Okay, see. Oops, sorry. I'm really I'm trying to see what I could have probably been
Trying to
playing.
figure out what you were playing. We did this last cast too, where you're trying to figure out what it was, and it was just Final Fantasy 11 was the answer.
Well, because like it was the end of the it was the last year of the PS3's life cycle. And because like Last of Us came out on in June of that year, so I would have played that eventually. But yeah, I don't know what would have pulled me away, at all. Yeah, because if November would have been PS4. So I'm just trying to think like what was I playing that pulled me away? And it must have been something like I don't know. It had to have been something multiplayer or another single player game. But yeah, I should go back and play it. I'll go on like a I think they were like super cheap. I should have just picked it up on like I'm sure Ubisoft had a deal for it at one point. I'll just add it to my Steam wish list. Far Cry Blood Dragon and just add that. Yeah, it's only $15. I'll just add it to my list and then replay it at some point. But yeah, I don't know why I stopped again. Yeah, I played a lot of it. I really liked a lot of it. I thought it was really funny. This kind of cyberpunk aesthetic that they had, well, not like techno punk, I guess, aesthetic. The Michael Bean doing all his voice lines, the funny tutorials about how to jump and crouch, just like poking fun at the genre. I thought was funny. There's some good stuff in there. But anyways, so they announced that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Doing a bunch of FPS updates for some of those old titles. And then a couple days later, or it's announced that they canceled a shit ton of games. Like they canceled
They
six
canceled
projects.
so much, and they canceled so many that I was interested in, which just
Yeah,
like was really unfortunate. They canceled the remake of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
right. Yeah, which is crazy. And I'm like, I guess, if it takes, because I forget when that was announced, like what, 5 years ago or something like that. I'm like, okay, if it takes 5 years to do it, it's like, that sounds like bad management. It's like, maybe you should have had that tighter. And that's the problem. It's like, okay, it's just gone on too long. So I was like, okay, that feels like a
I'm just
management
shocked.
issue.
Like I that always throws me off the remakes though, because I'm like that game already exists. You already know the story. You already know the powers and everything. Like
Yeah.
you're working from a template. So how hard can it possibly be for the management? Because like you have the template, very successful one to work off of.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's if it was gonna be one to one like, Demon Souls or something. Or are they gonna kinda tweak it a bit and make it a little more modern level design or something? Like kinda like what the Tomb Raider game that come out this year is gonna do with Tomb Raider 1, like kind of a reimagining of that first game. But yeah, and they delayed like 7 other titles as well. So not only did they cancel 6, close 2 studios, but they delayed 7. So yeah, it's crazy how much they got rid of. But 3 of the canceled games were new IPs, but 1 was a mobile game. And then their core focus, of course, going forward, the company said that they'll be on open world games and live services. I'm like, yeah, but your live services haven't really. I mean, aside from Rainbow Six and For Honor, which both have strong communities and a long life, Rainbow Six Siege especially. It's like, well, I guess in the division, I'm like, oh, but I feel like your other attempts, like those are old games. You know what I mean? Like those are PS4 era games. Like you tried your battle royale that didn't work and that got canceled. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know what you're gonna do. I mean, they do have that one like mixed extreme sports game that came out that's like not super popular, but they keep having updates for it. So like they must
I
have
mean,
enough people playing it.
it sort of just sounded like their focus going forward was basically going to be on Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. Like
Well,
basically cut all the small stuff.
they talked about how they separated those key franchises into like its own division. Where it's like this is which I think has part of who is it? Is it not Crafton? Maybe it's NetEase or who's the other big one from China that keep Tencent?
Tencent.
Like it's they isolate like their core games into their own like division thing. So like everything else outside that seems like it's being impacted. Just like mobile stuff, the remakes, yada yada. But yeah, Ubisoft Stockholm they fully closed. They helped. work on Avatar Frontiers of Pandora and some other stuff. But yeah, it's like, and they let's see, restructurings have taken place at their offices in Abu Dhabi, Trial Studio, Red Links, and at Massive, home of the division. In addition, all teams were required to return to in-office work 5 days a week, albeit with an annual allowance of remote work days. Annual allowance of remote work days. That's kind of crazy. I'm surprised. Like, oh, we don't have enough money, so let's have people come back in the office where we have to pay all those utilities, unless they're in countries or places where maybe they tax how much like you can write off if people work in your office. Like, I don't
It
know.
just
There's
sounds
some
like
weird
the
shit like that.
company's kind of going under or something. Like it
Yeah.
was just a bunch of weird decisions.
The return to office one is insane to me because I'm like, so you lay off a bunch of people, so everyone's unsure, and like, and we've seen people use return to office as like a way of just soft attrition. Be like, okay, the people who can't do it or won't do it, we'll get rid of them. That's an easy way to cut some more overhead, and then maybe we'll either spread that workload to other folks or we can hire people at the bottom starting of that salary tier or something. You know what I mean? So it's like, pretty messed up. So I'm just like, and their stock like plummeted too. I was looking at their
It's not like it could plummet a lot more. It was already at like
yeah. Well, I was looking at
ground
like
floor.
the peak of it, and then like how where it is now. Like I'm it sucks. Like I'm sure like the main title division of Far Cry and stuff like that, and Assassin's Creed won't go away. But like the problem then is if you get rid of everybody else and you only have maybe the division Far Cry, even the division I feel like is tough because you haven't come out with a sequel. They've done a lot of content for it. The game is popular, but it kind of came back in popularity a bit after its life cycle, and people played it and stuff and yada yada. But it's like the Division movie isn't even out, so it's like there's no hype there. And it's like had that come out or had it been in like a series, like maybe that would have got people back. But I feel like that franchise is gonna go away. They already canceled the one game we talked about previously, Heartland. And yeah, I if you only have your key Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six Siege, it's like then I feel like those games that come after are just gonna be like built by committee where it's like let's just play it perfectly safe and just not take any chances like we're talking about Primal or Blood Dragon, and just make stuff that everybody will enjoy. And like they sell well, but it's like you
That's
got to do
like
something.
what one of the main I mean, one of my pieces of critique for Ubisoft usually is like it feels like designed by committee, and there's very few games they release that feel unique in any way.
Yeah, yeah, it's rough. Hopefully they stay solvent. We'll see. But yeah, just crazy stuff with them. I feel bad for like all those employees. It's got to be like so stressful. Ah, man, especially if like you're U.S. employees, man. It's got to be like everything going on, and then your
Dude,
work. You're
yeah.
just like you don't fucking know.
It's just got to be awful.
Yeah. But yeah. Moving on. I did see a funny bit where like there was this like YouTuber or something where he found out that there's like this infinite money glitch with GameStop where like if you trade in a Switch 2, you get like more money back. So he's like he basically posts he's like by purchasing a Switch 2 for 415 and then immediately trading it back along with the purchase of a pre-owned game, a promotional bonus was triggered that increased the Switch 2 trade credit to $472.50. So essentially, it's like you're getting $50 in profit in store credit. Of course, it's not like you're getting it for yourself. But then, so he drove around, he'd go to one place, buy a Switch 2, go to a different GameStop, sell it there, and buy the pre owned game, get the money, and then try it. And he was just trying. It's like, obviously, yeah, it's the juice isn't worth the squeeze there. It's like, okay, you have to buy the pre owned game, blah, blah, blah. So you're only getting like $50 in store credit, and it's in store credit. So it's like you get, it's not like you're pocketing that money. But it was they caught on and they closed that loop. But it was just funny that they
It's
had
kind of, it's a funny little loophole though, and that's like a lot of effort to go to for that kind of money.
I do think I think he was just obviously doing it for he probably made way more money
Yeah,
off the YouTube content. But it's like it
yeah.
is funny to show like, can this work? It's like, yep. But yeah, I thought that was amusing. I also saw an article that popped up. It was interesting. Was one of the original designers of Tomb Raider, of Lara Croft rather, revealed that I guess it Core Design's then Japanese publisher. I don't know who the publisher was for Core Design back in the day, but they had asked for the character to be given a manga redesign to appeal to Japanese players. And so there's like this picture of like showing like, oh, what could we do? They like sent over some designs because they were worried that the Western character design wouldn't go over well in Japan. They want to change the model to be more to fit more Japanese audience, so like huge eyes, head, that kind of anime style. Um, and obviously, yeah, they didn't do that. But I thought that was interesting. It's like, you hear so much of that from Western audiences. Like that's why they they like, especially for casting for movies, like, oh, we can't do that because no one will watch the movie if we do that. So we got to do this. But like, it's interesting, like, oh, we don't think Laura will do well in Japan. Why don't you make her a little more anime? Um, I mean, if you look at Laura in that first game, I mean, especially the way they got proportions designed, it's like her head is pretty big. But it's just like she's kind of already kind of got it with the way the limitations they had on those designs. But I thought that was an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah, I
And the other
can't
thing,
imagine her being more anime, honestly. Like it's already a, like you said, it's already kind of a funny design.
right? Yeah, that would be funny. Like just have it put in a version, have a code you like type in, and you can play as the Manga style version. The other thing this week was the Xbox Developers Direct. I won't go over everything in it, but they did confirm that the Fable reboot will release on PS5. Day one launch is coming out fall of this year. Also, Forza Horizon 6 will be coming to PS5 at some point. It's not going to be day and date with the release on console PC, but it is coming to PS5. I'm trying to remember if the other game they showed, which is Beast of Reincarnation, that's the game from Game Freak, the Pokemon developers that they're making. It is coming to PS5. But I don't know. It's due out in summer. That is also coming to PS5. Like I think almost everything. Yeah, everything they showed, like Kiln. Uh, it's a Microsoft surprise announced new game from Double Fine Productions. Sorry, called Kiln, and it's going to be on everything, including PS5. So it's like everything they showed is coming to PlayStation 5. And then there was a division head who said something like, "Yeah, there's even more Xbox games coming to PS5." I mean, we already have the Halo One remake, whatever they're calling it, edition is going to be coming to PS5, and then
I mean, I feel like at this point it's pretty obvious that they're just moving away from a structure where they use exclusives and that they want to be more of like, I don't know, software distributing.
well, and it's like they have to, like, it's a money thing too, like, it's if it's easy to dev, it's like, you might as well do it because we'll make more money, and I feel like because they're so far behind console sale wise, it's like, yeah, it makes sense to do it, like, put it on everything, especially day 1 is what's most interesting, not just like, where PlayStation's like, "Here's the new God of War," and a year later it's on PC, like, they're doing it, "Oh, day 1, it'll be on that platform." So I'm sure they'll probably announce, like, Gears of War Day 0, whatever it is gonna come to PS5 because they already have the anniversary edition of Gears of War on PlayStation. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, not too much else. The new trailer for Super Mario Galaxy movie came out today for people who are interested in video game media. That is out. And what else was I gonna? There's something I want to talk about. Where like I watched something. And I was like, oh, this thing that I watch. It's like, it's just a video game movie, but I can't or show or whatever. But I can't
Like a
remember what it
TV
was.
show you watch is just a video. What?
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Such
watched.
a
I'm like,
vague
oh,
statement. This is gonna drive
like
me nuts until you figure out what you're talking
it's
about.
like the most it was it could like if you said this is a video game adaptation, it's like, yeah, but the video game doesn't exist. It's just like everything that happens in the media of the film or TV show, whatever it was. That's why I think it was a movie. It's like, yeah, it's very video gamey. And I wish I can remember what it was that I watched. Let me see if I can pull it up. It might have been clearly it was a React series that I was watching. I don't remember what it was that I was watching, so I got to go through and try to look at stuff. But yeah, like Fallout's currently going on. Fallout's really good for media and game adaptation stuff. I'm enjoying that. It's funny because because it's interesting to watch or consume a video game media adaptation where I didn't play the game that it's one of the games that it's heavily influenced by. Like I didn't play New Vegas, so like there's a lot of stuff in there where I'm like here's an Easter egg. I'm like, okay, I don't know it because I didn't play the game.
I feel like most of the Easter eggs are still enjoyable though, because it's like you just need to know kind of like the broad strokes and the major players, and then all the small things are usually like pieces of equipment or gear or like things like that that people enjoyed.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and it's not like I don't get them. Like, no, like I know who the NCRs are. I know I didn't know about the Legions. It's like there's one React channel I watch, and there got one guy on there's like he's big on Fallout, the franchise. So like when I see him react to stuff, it's really cool to see. Like, oh, it's cool to see a reaction from someone who is a big fan of the franchise and knows the IP. Like, I feel like a lot of the other more nerdy React channels I watch, like they kind of know some stuff, but they're not like big Fallout fans. So like I really like watching that React content because then I can see him like, ooh, it's this thing. Or like, did you watch the most recent episode?
What number are we up to?
6?
Yes, then yes.
Yeah, when the super mutant was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, yeah." I was like and I heard the voice, I'm like, "Oh, that's Ron Perlman, baby. They just deepened his voice." And then I'm like, I was right. I was like, "It was Ron
I
Perlman."
I had the same reaction, except I was like, "That's definitely Hellboy." Like, I
Yeah.
just heard it, and I'm like, "That was where you got the, like, idea for Ron Perlman from for this."
Well, it's also because he's the it makes so much sense to have him as do a cameo because he was the narrator of the first 2, and then he did in 3, he did, War Never Changes intro for 3, but they replaced him in 4 for whatever reason. But he was the War Never Changes guy. And so it's like, War Never Changes, but it was Ron Perlman, so I thought that was really cool. And seeing someone else who's a fan of games, like, clock that it's him, because a lot of people, like, didn't realize it was Ron Perlman. Uh but, watching a game person, like, realize, like, "Oh, this is Ron Perlman." I was like, "Hell yeah, it's good to see." Man, I'm trying to go through, like, my watch history to see what it was that I watched that I was like, "Oh, this is just a video game movie," but I can't recall. Oh, well, I will find it. But, yeah, Fallout's really good. I'm curious, like, it was funny, I was watching someone talk about, I don't think anybody who's listening hasn't played 4, but, like, someone was like, "Oh, what could they do with," because they talk about the Commonwealth and how, in episode uh, 3 or 4, whatever, when Kumail Nanjiani's like, "Oh, we need that cold fusion to help us back at the Commonwealth." And it's like, okay, they don't have like a definitive ending for what happened at 4 in the show. So I'm wondering, like, okay, if they do 3, are they going to talk about like the Institute and synths? And someone React channel I was wondering who also was wondering the same thing. They're like, oh, they can't do that because Jonathan Nolan did Westworld. That'd be too close to home. I'm like, but it's from the game. It's not like he created Westworld. Like, and that was an
I
IP on its own.
I am kinda curious, like, the end game of the show. Of, like, right now, it seems like they're just kind of going through all of these major locations to, like, get to the Commonwealth or something, and it is interesting because I don't understand. This is, like, one piece of feedback I saw from the first season, which kinda makes sense of, like, I don't understand what the first season has to do with the second season, which has to do with, like, the series moving forward. Like, each season has kinda felt like its own story, which is totally fine, but it was speculating that, like, why, if you wanted it in the Commonwealth, why didn't you just like start the series in the Commonwealth? Why are you going through all of these old locations from old games? And whether or not that was just to like drive reactions or something. Just that the seasons so far don't necessarily feel cohesive with each other, which I kind of agree with. Though I'm still really enjoying the show.
Well,
I
I mean,
find it hilarious.
they still have storylines that are like they're direct pickups from. I mean, all the storylines are essentially direct pickups from 1 to 2. Like, the Vault 33 is still having the problem with the water. And they have like the experiment going on, and then they release all the people in 31. So that's like, okay, whatever's going on there is now done. So now that's messed up. So now there's going to be issues in the vault because he released everybody. And then even going after like, okay, we get the cold fusion back, or we don't get it. The Brotherhood gets it, but like now we take it away from them, so we stop them from having it. So we pulled it out from those guys. Now we got to figure out where that's going to go, but it's clearly related to Robert House for in Fallout, and they're chasing down her dad who ran away at the end of the first. Like I feel like it's all tied in just fine. Like I don't think there's like the overall story was like I got to find my dad, and then issues with the Brotherhood, and that keeps changing or it keeps growing or whatever. Uh, but I don't it. Like, I feel like if you watched season 2 and you didn't know anything in season 1, you'd be like, "What? Why are these 2 together?" Like, you couldn't like, they're not standalone enough that, like, you can just go in and watch one without seeing the other.
Yeah, and it was less that like, not that they're not standalone, more of it the locations don't necessarily seem to make sense. Like, it seems like the story they want to tell could have been done anywhere, and it's more of like, what, I don't think they've revealed yet why they even went to New Vegas. Like,
Well,
I'm trying to
he
think of a
that's
way to not
hit the
spoil the recent
well,
episode, but
that's where his dad was going because he's like, okay, he needs to continue the Vault-Tec, uh, what they're doing, so he goes to their headquarters in Vegas, or not the headquarters, but like the vault they have in Vegas, and then that place will all be intact because Robert House built the missile defense system. So it's like that's clearly everything will be fine there, hypothetically, because House would have, prepped for everything to run, and it obviously is, as you can see once
right.
he arrives. So it's like
Yeah.
they follow him there because he's like, okay, as part of the Vault-Tec plan, this is where the because you find Vault-Tec HQs in other games and like they're always destroyed and shit. So it's like this is the one that will be standing. It'll be this. It has this special vault, which is where Coop's wife and daughter are. So it's like
Hmm.
okay, that's why he goes because of the connection between Vault-Tec and Robert House. So it's like that. I feel like that makes sense. And then like obviously the the Brotherhood being like, "Oh, we're gonna go to Area 51, and there we can make a bunch of power cores." I'm like, "I guess, was that a thing in New Vegas?" Like, I'm not like, "Oh, this feels weird." I'm just like, "Okay, I guess that was like,
I
do you
don't
go there?"
remember if that was a thing. I don't remember Area
Yeah.
51, but maybe it was in it.
Like, maybe it's like, okay, we have because we have cold fusion, which is infinite energy, that equals infinite power cores, which makes sense to me if power cores, I mean, they're not batteries, but in this world, like if they were treated like batteries, it's like, okay, I could see how that would happen. And I guess that's where, because Area 51 is
I
just
mean,
a place where you do,
they're kind of like batteries in the game.
yeah, yeah. But I'm
They,
guessing
they
like,
are,
okay, that,
yeah, I know, like real world tech, sure, yeah, but like functionally, they're basically batteries, so it
yeah.
makes sense.
And I'm like, I have to assume that that's where they maybe did the experiments, like, for, like, you always think of Area 51 aliens. It's like, no, they're just doing, like, experiments. They did underground nuclear tests, and whatnot. But it's like, okay, there could be some tech stuff there that I don't know about that's from the games, and that's why they go, like, that's where they can manufacture some or something, like, because he has, like, those boxes that he drops off in front of all the other, Brotherhood folks. But yeah, it was, I mean, it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's fun to watch, and like I said, to be in places I have no idea. So it's like there's a robot, the howdy robot talking to him at the NCR. I'm like, I'm assuming that robot's in the game, like, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's a
And it
that one's an Easter egg.
it's like, it's not like I don't, like, enjoy it. It's just like I'm enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying it that extra, like, 10% if I was, like, I know the FEV, so when he looks at the FEV in the Norm looks it up in the thing in the computer, he's like, "FEV, enforced evolutionary virus." He's like, "What's that?" And, like, of course, people who have no idea, they're like, "What is that?" It is funny, I was watching the channel, and they're like, "What is the, like, he's like, "Folks, if you could," like, in their reaction and after the episode, they're talking about, like, "Folks, if you can, about the abominations, you can tell us anything about that without," 'cause, the super mutant calls him and Coop both abominations, and they created us and yada yada. He's like, "If you could tell us anything about that, with, like, without spoilers," and I just wrote, like, "In regards to your question at, 10206, breadcrumbs aren't always visible until after the show has explained some stuff, and you'll look back and be like, oh," so it's like, I didn't wanna say, like, "It's part of the FEV thing for the super mutants and blah, blah, blah." It's like, it'll all make sense once the show tells you. You don't need a spoiler thing for it, so, but yeah. No, I'm enjoying, Fallout Season 2. I know we haven't talked about it at all since,
Yeah,
it
honestly,
started,
I've
but
been loving this adaptation. I find it to be like one of the best game adaptations that's come out. It definitely is hitting the spot for me, and I just feel like they nailed the humor and everything about it.
yeah. Yeah, it's good. I'm curious where, yeah, I'm wondering, will it wrap up? Because I felt like season 1, even though it continues, obviously, it's like, okay, the everybody meets up, she finds her dad, she finds out the truth, yada, yada. There's the big fight between the the folks and the Brotherhood, uh, the new NCR, I think is what they call it, on that banner. They Everything goes down. She gets away to go follow her dad, who runs away, and then we're left with Norm trapped in the vault and a water shortage situation. It's like, okay, I feel like you solved the big thing. Someone new has control of it. One faction died. Okay, now it's gone. So I'm curious, like, how will this one end? Because even the Sumian says, like, there's a war coming, and I'm like, but I don't know the events of New Vegas, so I'm like, is there? Obviously, they can't be, like, if there was a war, a big war thing that happens, it would have already happened at this point in the show. And we see, like, the NCR is pretty much gone. Uh, but I forget, does the events of Shady Sands take place after Fallout New Vegas? Like the nuke that blows up Shady Sands in the show? Does that
Yeah, because
Okay?
uh,
Because Shady Sands
people
exists
didn't
in New
know
Vegas?
until yeah, people didn't know until the show that Shady Sands was gone.
Okay, 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 okay. That's interesting. Yeah, uh, yeah. So I'm curious. What was interesting to me was in that last episode, and it's such a small thing, is when she's about to leave with her dad, and the snake oil salesman comes in, and he goes, "Sir, what do you want me to do with these two?" And it's a guy from the Legion, and it's the other guy from the NCR. Because I was like, "Well, shoot, what happened to the lady?" Like, the Legion fought each other because Coop made that explosion. It was like, and that's like one of the things. Like, maybe I did something smart or something stupid, and so he makes them fight each other, so they have their little civil war. But then, like, did the a few of them live, and did he actually tell them the real location of the NCR, the holdouts, or like, did he expect, "I'll tell them, but because I'm gonna start this fight, no, it won't matter because no one's gonna live to do anything about it." But they were clearly fighting each other because they caught 2 of them. So I'm like, unless maybe they caught them separately, perhaps? I don't know. But, yeah, so I'm wondering, like, okay, what happened to the other person that was left? But anyways, it's just small things. So in the big picture, it probably won't matter. It's not like they're a big player in the game. But, I'm wondering, like, what other, because aside from Ron Perlman, I'm trying to think, there were no other major, like, cameos in this one, because I feel like early on it's like, "Oh, here's Kumail Nanjiani,
There was
here's
someone else.
Macaulay
Yeah, I was
Culkin,
like, there were a few
here's."
other big cameos, weren't there?
There was a guy in episode 5 where it was, like, some dude in the bar, but it wasn't this style of cameo like, mm, someone current. It was, like, it's funny watching, it goes, "Oh, it's that guy from that show," and I'm like, that I've never seen. I'm like, "Okay, but that doesn't mean anything to me." Like, it'd be different if it was like, "Oh, there's someone from Twin Peaks. Oh, here's someone from," 'cause, Kyle MacLachlan. Uh, but, yeah, I don't recall anybody except, Ron Perlman to me feels like that's like an Easter egg, uh, cameo kinda thing where it's like, okay, he's gonna be more important. But I'm curious, like, yeah, what's gonna happen there, yada yada. So there's a lot of stuff in there. I think it's fun, certainly in having not played the game, so, or that game anyways. And there's, like, rumors that that's gonna be announced in, like, a couple days, so, or not a couple days, but, like, in a bit. We talked about it last week. It's like, I'm hoping that happens because I would replay it if it was all updated and nice. But man,
I feel like at this point it has to be coming because they would have just lost such a good opportunity for them if they really weren't going to be updating it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Man, I was trying to go back and see if I can find the thing I was talking about, but I can't. I must have not watched it, I just must have been thinking about it. Oh well.
You
Yeah,
just
anyways.
invented a show in a game.
I just made it up. I did hear about this game that's coming out. So I was listening to a podcast, MinMax, and they were talking about, like, games they're looking forward to, uh, coming out this year. And there's this indie game called Hello Sunshine that's, from Red Thread Games. I'm not familiar with them, but it's like this. You're a little person in, like, this post-apocalyptic, like, desert area, but there's this giant robot that, like, gives you shade from the sun to help you survive, and, like, it has a big old, like, follow me on the back of it. So, like, you're following, like, this iron giant through the desert to survive so you don't, like, get cooked by the sun. Uh, and it seems interesting. I was watching, it's like, yeah, a survival mystery set in the ruins of a corporate empire. Walk in the shadow of a giant robot during the sweltering days. Stay close to keep warm during the cold nights. Scavenge, craft, upgrade, and piece together the broken puzzle of the world, ruled by machines that refuse to shut down. So it's like, it seems like this cool idea of, like, oh, there's this robot, and maybe it's like, oh, it's gonna keep walking, but now I'm at a point of interest. I need to quickly go scavenge stuff and catch back up to it, before it gets too far. Otherwise, I'm gonna, like, die of heat exhaustion in the sun or something. So it's like, I like this idea of, it would be like if the train in Metro Exodus was, like, slower, and it was constantly on the go on the map. So you get there, it's like, okay, go do stuff, but you're on a time limit because this train is gonna leave if you don't get back on it. You know what I mean? Versus, like, stopping, to get repaired or whatever. So, like, I like this idea of, like, it, at least that's how it sounds in my head. Like, that's what it's gonna be. There's no, like, big old gameplay overview trailer for it. They just did another new trailer for it. I guess there's some showcase the other day. But I'm like, that'd be really cool. It's like, oh, it keeps walking, but it's slow and lumbering. So it's like you got time to, and it casts, like, a really big shadow. So it's like, okay, quickly go scavenge and then get back to it. Or else you lose. And I think that's a cool idea. So I have that on my radar as far as some games. I think it was like an indie festival that they had, going on. But
What
anyways,
was the game called?
it's called Hello Sunshine. It's PC only.
Oh, they're all freaking PC only.
Oh yeah, it's most indie games will come to PC first, always. Unless they get, like, funding from Xbox or PlayStation. Bring back PS4 era Sony and fund a bunch of indie games to be on your platform.
Dude, that was great. I kind of miss that. I miss
Ah,
getting all the indie games, and they were all fantastic
man,
indie games too.
the E3 where they had the glitch with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where it's like Sony was up there and, like, they had, like, 12 or 7 whatever indie devs up on the stage in that giant circle, like, showing off their game, like, not one by one, like, looking at it, but, like, showing off, like, hey, these are 7 games that we're helping fund. You can play them on the show floor or whatever. Like, I thought that was such a cool moment. I was like, yeah, look at them do all the indie stuff. But oh well. I feel like that was, Jim Ryan's push and Shuhei Yoshida back in his old role. It was like one of their joints where people now it's like, okay, we'll just focus on the big stuff. But anyways, all right. Well, that's pretty much it for the news. Like I said, not too much else. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to what we've been playing. What have you been playing?
I've still been working my way through Prince of Persia. The Lost Crown, I actually got to the part I complained last time about how the walk walk trees should just be the fast travel points, and then I got to the point of the game where they just become the fast travel points,
Yeah, yep.
and I'm like more annoyed about it now instead of less because I'm like this should have just been the design element from the start. Like it
They
should
had to heal the trees. Yeah, I didn't wanna
I
say
know, but I'm
anything.
like it should have just been the design element from the start. It shouldn't have been like such a long thing. But it's fine. Like, it's fine. Um
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, still just working my way through them. Enjoying the game. I'm up to King Darius right now, so beat Varum the first time, and then he runs away, and I think I have most of the powers and maps. I have a surprisingly low percentage of completion, which I'm kind of thrown off by, considering I've collected like most everything on the map. I have like 60% completion with like most everything on the map collected, and I'm like, what am I missing? So I'm waiting for some big twist of like, oh, here's the second map or something like that, because clearly there's something I'm not understanding.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm enjoying it still. I got a little bit
I
blocked on the King Darius fight and was like, I need to take a little bit of a break from it.
I wonder where I started. I didn't load this on YouTube, did I? Yeah, I didn't. I must have only streamed it and I didn't record it. 'Cause I was trying to see if I had so I can go to the end and see what my completion was on it. Oh yeah, no, I did. I put it on there. Okay, I'm gonna see what it has on the end of it. Took me 13 sessions to beat. Let's see, what was my final? Look here, does it show? I don't think it does. Let's see, there's the post credits. Many thanks for playing. I unlocked the bonus stuff. Okay, yeah, when I beat it, I was only 78%.
And that's pretty close to what I'm at, which I'm kind of surprised because feels like that's a low number. Feels like I should be way higher considering all the stuff I've collected.
See, now you can do that thing where you not that you need to do this with me, but like where you watch a let's play while you play, but then the audio cues will mess you up because you think you're being attacked by something. Like anytime I watch like someone play a game that I'm also playing, uh, which I usually only do for non like single player, like I wouldn't do it for
Yeah,
Last of Us, but I've done it for other games where like I'm playing it, but then I hear their SFX in their game go off, but I think it's something in my game. I'm like, wait a minute, there's no enemy near me. Like, Subnautica is a big one. Like, if I'm playing Subnautica, but I'm watching someone's Let's Play of Subnautica, like that'll fuck me up. I'll be like,
that's a freaky one because Subnautica has some great sound design.
yeah, that one's a fun one to do. Like, I try to make sure to like when I do that, like pause my game and just wait, quickly rewind, especially if it's like a Leviathan. I'm like, okay, it's on their end, it's on their end. But I don't always watch Let's Plays of games I'm playing. Auction Not Included is a big one. I used to do that for a while when
Hmm.
I was playing. Owning there was a YouTuber who put up a bunch of videos, and then it'd be like he'd have like an alert go off, and be like, "Oh shit, is it me? Is one of my guys suffocating?" Like, no, 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 it's his. It's his. I'm like, okay, okay. Uh, but yeah, I like doing that. But yeah, I forgot I loaded up these. Um,
But yeah,
but yeah,
pretty much just playing through that close to the end, I think. Up to King Darius. I'm enjoying the game a lot. The combat is fantastic. I love the powers and abilities. I find some of the bosses like really enjoyable, and I find some of the bosses extremely frustrating. And I was curious which ones like most of the people found frustrating, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm generally aligned with what everyone thinks. I didn't like the dude that the archer, I can't remember his name, but I did not like fighting him. And then I really didn't like Varum the first time around. I thought that fight was obnoxious due to all the animations where it's like tiny little he throws all those threads out and it's like you get a tiny little bit of like the thread catches your foot and then you're caught in a animation for like 5 minutes.
hmm, interesting.
But
Yeah,
it's not actually 5 minutes, but it frustrated me. I
I
like fights where you have like a quick turnaround and you're able to immediately get back in. I don't like having my time wasted.
right, right, right. Yeah, having to go do a long one. I really like the King Darius fight. I forgot how I was rewatching it because I even called the episode like I won't time, but I said like fun boss fight as part of the title. Like I did this fight and I was doing treasure hunting, and then I had like one where it's like I was treasure hunting and doing. I have one video I titled "This entire zone is all about staying off the ground." I love that section where it's like where is it? It's just all. Oh man, I can find it, but it's just a bunch of like parkour in the air. Oh man, that puzzle one where you have to do the ghost of yourself. Did you do that one? That would have been well before,
A
maybe.
puzzle where you have to do the ghost of yourself.
So like it's like a section where you have to let me see if it's got a name. It's like
I
a
think I've done most of the puzzles, so I think I have.
let's see. I'm trying to. It's in the Temple of Knowledge. There's like a you stand on the thing. You stand on a pedestal, and there's like three statues, and one lights up, and it's like you have like
Oh,
25 seconds
yes.
to time yourself to make your
Some of those
ghost.
were great puzzles.
I love that section where it's like it repeats what you do. There's a
You're talking
game
about the one where it was like the 3 different, like,
versions of
paths up and down,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you have to run. I'm like, "Okay, I have to time. Okay, this character goes here, and he stands here, and then I run down here." Like, I love that whole section. It was like you can watch. Well, you don't have to watch it, but like I have it on there. So if you're curious, like, how did he do it, or how long did it take him? Like, you have it all there. But like,
No,
there's
that
a
was a good
game.
one.
I think it's a VR title called like the Clockwork something, and there's a lot of that mechanic in that game where it's like you make versions of yourself.
There's been a lot of games like that. There's, what was it? Not Echogram, there were
The
a lot of,
Last
like,
Clockwinder.
there were some PS Vita games that were pretty similar to that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a pretty common mechanic of, like, needing to, like, swap time back to do something like that. It wasn't, it's been done a lot, but it was done very well in this game, I thought.
Yeah, Last Clock Tower is a VR puzzle automation game. You create intricate clockwork contraptions out of your own clones and restore life to an ancient tree. Blah, blah, blah. But you like make a like okay, I'll throw myself this thing, and then this version of me will go over and catch it, and like it's a cool idea. I if I got VR, I heard someone like talk about playing it because it was one of their favorite VR games of that year. It's like, man, I got it like $10, but I don't have a VR title or platform. But anyways, flashback out. Okay, audio issues and two bosses. Okay. Anyways. I love my titles, just like exploring new areas, new building, accidentally muting myself for 30 minutes, exploring new areas, giant enemy crab, betrayal and looking for an old man, uh, treasure hunting, exploring the final zone. Yeah, I really enjoyed that game.
It was a good
Yeah,
one. I've enjoyed it a lot. I like Metroidvanias a lot, so it's been a nice palate cleanser, and it's kinda hit the spot really well.
yeah, yeah. I just been playing more Tomb Raider. So last week you weren't here. No, you joined late.
I was
You
here.
not joined. You
Yeah.
joined during the intro. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
I
so
joined,
yeah,
like,
I
5 minutes late.
if I well,
Barely late.
more like
Barely late.
20 minutes late to the start, but then we ended up recording like we're like, let's just
Barely
go. Can't
late.
wait, barely late. Yeah, from when I invited the bots. But no, I just played more Tomb Raider Remastered. I finished up the whole section of the man. That's a game where like it's a really bad idea to just stop in the middle and then take a break for a while and then come back to because you're like, what the hell was I doing? And you know, those games are like they very much are the Souls games of their time in the sense of like they don't tell you anything. It's like there's a locked door. Okay, I found a key. Where does this go? I don't know. I just gotta find a door and see if Laura says no or not. It's like they don't tell you any. There's like dead ends. Like how do I get there? I don't know. I gotta find a switch or something. It's like in Souls games, like you run around, you have no idea what to do. It's like I found this thing. What do I do with it? Oh, it says I can use it here. Okay, I'll do that. I'll just run around, I guess. And what do I do with these items? Oh, I can consume them. What do they do? I don't know. Like it's very much like that. Like obviously those games are linear, so it's a little easier. But like even like Elden Ring, because it's more open world, it's like you'd have no idea. Like okay, I guess. But like the whole coastal region area, I got to Alexandria, and I was like running around the courtyard, like okay, how do I found like this room was kind of dead, and I'm like, what was the point of this room or this building? Like whatever, and then blah blah. I'm like trying to figure out like where to go, and it's like it turns out, oh, where I have to go is like this one little thin back alley that leads around a corner. It's like the only one I didn't check. And it's like, oh, okay, that takes me to the coastal ruins. Now I'm in the coastal ruins. Okay. Now the coastal ruins is connected to like four different zones. I have like the Temple of Osiris, which is underwater. There's like the Temple of Demetrius. There's Cleopatra's Palace. There's like all these other zones, like they're all interconnected. But there's like so many locked doors. I'm like, how the fuck do I get? And it's like in Alexandria, you find a key, a gate key. And I'm like, where do I use this gate key? And there's this one part zone where you run into, and as soon as you run in, it does this cinematic camera of like two skeletons come up and start running towards you. So it pulls you away from where you normally would be looking in the level design. So I go and I take care of the skeletons, and I'm like, oh, there's a torch down here and a brazier that's lit. And I can light my torch, and I can see a rope with a counterweight doing something. Like I know I have to. I remember I have to burn this, so I burned it. It causes a big boulder to fall down, and it gives me access into this little crawly alcove. I go in there. That leads me underground in Demetrius' temple, and I'm like, oh, there's a big old pillar I can move, but I can't move it because if I there's I could see that there's a platform that has to be brought up. in order to do that. I'm like, okay, this is like there's a lot of that in this game where you find there's a lot of rooms that are interconnected. Where it's like, oh, in order to do stuff in this room, you have to do stuff in the other room first that triggers a platform to move to give you access to the mechanic of that other room. So when you find rooms out of order, it's really kind of frustrating to be like, which I did a lot. And I'll come back to another thing that annoys me about that mechanic later. But like, so I was like, okay, I go back and like, where do I use this fucking gate key? I can't go through any of the other levels because all the gates are locked. I can go down to the Temple of Osiris, but I need 2 key items to open up the door. So I go back to the coastal ruins. I'm like, okay, where's the gate? So I'm like running around. I'm like, I gotta check everything now because that fucking it's somewhere. And I go back to where the 2 skeletons attack, and I can see, oh, across the area there's an archway with a little area, and I go in there and then turn around, and there's a gate. I open the gate that leads me to a spot where I can do some stuff, and then lift up the platform, which is to go back to the alcove that I found and crawl inside it, and then I move the thing and it helps me progress yada. And then it becomes a little more linear. And then it becomes like, okay, now you're in a zone. You need to find 4 key items in order to progress. Okay, so you have to go to get those key items. You have to go find them in other areas, and then you go back. And there's a lot of backtracking in Tomb Raider, especially like I talked about it in the other, like more so than any other Tomb Raider I remember. So there's a lot of backtracking. Like, and the thing is, you don't know how many. Well, you know how many you need in the one part, but it's like, okay, but there's 2 tridents in this level, and there's 2 tridents over here. It's like, or there's these over here. It's like trying to know like how they split it up. It's like I just had to assume like, I guess I'm done. I think there's only these 2. I'm just gonna assume that's the case, and I'm gonna go look elsewhere. And then I go and complete the puzzle. So, anyways, I got through all that. But one thing that annoyed me is there's this one part where you're in, I think it's in Cleopatra's palace or somewhere, and like you have to. There's this room with like this fire puzzle, but if you don't find that room first and instead you find this other room, there's supposed to be a scroll on the pedestal that tells you like the secret to solving the room. But if you go to that room first, the puzzle's all transparent and you can't pick it up. And I'm like, what the hell? I was like, what is this all about? Why can't I pick up this item? And I didn't realize that was the case. I don't remember that mechanic from back in the day. And anyway, so I go back and I do it. And and it has the one puzzle I always remember is this planetary one where there's like the solar system and you have to move. I talked about it last week about having to move all the planets and if I'll have trouble with it like I did back in 99. And sure enough, I did because the way the layout is, the sun isn't at the center of the universe because you have to treat it like they would have thought back in the day. So they think the Earth is at the center of the universe. So you have to put the Earth and then the moon and then Venus and Mercury and then the sun, and the sun's like all in the outskirt ring. So it's like I
That's
was like,
kind of a
oh damn
tough
it.
puzzle.
Yeah, well, luckily they do a thing where in the OG as well, if you put a planet in the right spot, it does like this little holographic like circle orb above it to know like, hey, this is the right. You put it in the right location. So like you get like Venus pretty quick. Even if you do it backwards, if you do it like the way it is in reality, if you put the sun in the middle and then you put Mercury next to the sun and then you put Venus, Venus will still be in the right spot. It'll regardless if you do it how you think it should be or not, it'll be in the right location. And then when you go to put in Mercury, that will also be in the right locations. The only thing that's wrong is the sun and uh, the Earth and the moon. So it's like, okay, now that's where you gotta flip 'em around. Anyways, but yeah, so I did that, and then I got to the fire bit. I'm like, oh, I remember this. But what annoys me about the fire thing is like it's this puzzle where it's a bunch of these switches, and if you flip a switch, you turn the fire of a serpent on, and then it connects to 2 other switches along the path. There's like lines showing you like this. If you turn this one on, it impacts these other 2. And there's like 8 of these serpents. So each switch interacts with 2 others. And it's like, okay, you have to turn them all on to progress. Now I've done a lot of puzzle games where it's like, oh, you know, if I turn this on, it turns this off. I think about a lot of blueprints and the garage, not the garage, but the breaker box. And you know how you have to like flip the switches to get the different colors. You remember that puzzle?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So like that's like super easy to solve because you get feedback in real time. I'm flipping them. I can see them changing. I'm like, okay, what if I do this, this, and this? Okay, I can solve it. Or okay, let's restart it. Okay, do this. The problem with the Tomb Raider one is like I have to run between each of these switches in this giant room, and I can't like at one point I took a screenshot and then I was on my phone with open my fold and I had my pen and I was drawing on it, like, okay, if I turn this one on, it turns these ones on, this one, and then what if I turn this one on? And I was like deleting, I was like crossing them out, like erasing the circles, like, okay, then this one goes off, and this one goes off, trying to do it that way. But it just took so long to manually do it that way. And the solution is just the scroll says, because I'm like, what did the scroll say? And so I look at it like, oh, if you get the scroll, it says this, like just turn them on in order. So it's like you just go around and counterclockwise or clockwise and just turn them all on, and that's the solution is you just turn them all on. But because it
It's
wasn't,
such a dumb solution, though.
yeah, it was annoying because because I couldn't do instant feedback, I couldn't do my normal like thought process in a proper way. Like I couldn't just click. I've played plenty of puzzle games, man. I'm like Lorelei and Laser Eyes, super, easy beat that game. Blueprints has some puzzles in it like that are similar to this one. It's like, but because the input time took so goddamn long, it's like I just couldn't. And plus, I had the kid on my lap, so it's like I wasn't like dialed in the zone or whatever. So that like annoyed me. But I got it done and I solved it. But yeah, now I'm in the City of the Dead, near the end game now, which is like I remember the big monster that's gonna come out of the ground at some point. I remember climbing up the giant, the Great Pyramid, and like that's a fun little traversal puzzle because some parts of that pyramid are like uh, ramps where like it'll make Laura slide down, and only certain ones you can stand on. But yeah, it's fun to go through. I'm still having a good time with Tomb Raider
And what made you go
Remastered.
back to Tomb Raider? I felt like that was such a random choice, and I can't remember if you already talked about why you even picked it up.
It was on sale. So I was like, you know what? I picked it up and then I picked up Baby Steps because they're both on sale. And I was like, and I really wanted to replay 4 because I talked about how I replayed 2 because I thought 2 was really good, but 2's not good. And then I was like, okay, well, in my head 4 is my favorite. Is it good? I kind of want to replay it and see if it's just rose in the glasses, even though I played that way more than I played 2. So I have way more memories of like running around in it. And yeah, it's really good. It's just yeah, it's run around playing just I forgot how much, like, back and forth, like, oh, and then you get this thing, and you go back to this level, and you go back to this level. I forgot how much there was there. There's some stuff in there where it's like, I don't know how like, there's a door that I was in an area, and I'm collecting these pieces, these key items I need for, like, the main quest. I have to collect this armor. And there's a door that has no switch, but the door only opens once you've collected all of the other items. That way, you don't accidentally, I guess, like, soft locked yourself or something, like, that's a trigger. It's like, make sure the player has every other piece, then this door will open, that way they don't mistakenly because it has the item you need to progress through the level. I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense." That's how you prevent the player from, hurting themselves, by missing something. But it didn't make a sound when I got the last thing, so I just had to run by it. Like, normally when something triggers in that game, it'll, like, show you, it's like, "Hey, this door opened." It'll be either a still camera shot of the door opening. It's like, "You better recognize this area. Do you remember? Because this door is open." It's like, "That's easy." Or it'll do if it's in a far off area, it'll show the door open, and then the camera will pan back and find Laura wherever she is. But it didn't do that. So I was like, I didn't realize the door opened. I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Okay, whatever." But yeah, and I did have a problem where I couldn't find 2 switches. I didn't see them. Even I talk about a lot of times switching between the old school mode and the remake just because, again, goes back to lighting and the way they light puzzles and stuff. Sometimes it's hard to tell. And I forget too, like, oh, I have a crowbar that you get on the train leading into Alexandria, and there's so many doors where it's like, "Oh, Laura can just pry this door open." But it's like, "Oh, but this is a door that needs a switch." And it's like, "Okay, there's a door. I'm assuming I need a switch or to hit something, but let's run up to it anyways just in case it's a crowbar door." And it's like, "Oh, it's a crowbar door. Okay, I can do this." So it's like there's no distinction, between them. Like, oh, this is to let the player know, like, this is a crowbar door. This isn't. But yeah, it's a fun time. I'm looking forward to. Like I said, I'm in the final stretch. I forgot about there's like this boss fight you do against this like robotic knight, and he's on a horse in this one level. And it's like, oh,
A boss fight against a robotic knight
it's
on a
like a
horse.
a,
Dude,
a
the Tomb
bronze
Raider
knight.
games
Yeah,
are way more wild than I remember.
I mean
I
they
just
got
remember like
skeletons coming out of the ground, man.
dinosaur too, like T Rex in one of them.
Two of them. Yeah.
Is it in two of them?
It's in Tomb Raider 2 in the bottom of the Great Wall. If you
Oh,
climb down, it's where one of the secret dragon collectibles are. He's down there.
dude, those games are wild.
I think there's one in 3 as well. I think maybe or Chronicles. There might be another one. But anyways, yeah, it's fun. It's I'm still enjoying my time. It's just yeah, it's definitely like it's of the time of like let's make strategy guides and we'll make money off that. Because like if I take a break and I forget like shit, where am I? I guess I just run around and like I can get I just don't have the patience to be like, let's run around for 20 minutes and figure out where I didn't look. And yeah, and like, sometimes I still forget that the walls that you can climb, the way they make them in the remake, versus how they like look in the original can sometimes be again because the lighting could be weird. It's like, oh, I gotta climb this wall, do this, and being reminded of some section, like, oh, I fucking hate it. There's this one part when you go in there and there's like these two ropes and you have to jump from one rope to another. I hated that shit in 99. I hate it in 2026 because it's like you would think if you just line up the ropes with the camera to where they're perfectly aligned and you swing, you can grab the other rope. No, that's not the case. You have to turn to where like the far rope is like an inch to the right of the rope you're on, then swing and then you'll grab it. And it's like I died so many times trying to jump from this one rope to another, which is exactly what happened in 99. It's like you save on the platform, and then you just make sure you keep trying to jump, and it's like, I hate this fucking rope. But yeah, just playing that. I haven't played too much else. Just Tomb Raider. A lot of playing a lot
Just
of
Tomb
Warhammers.
Raider.
Putting together Warhammer stuff, and then so it's like doing that, and then catching up on shows, like I said with Fallout and
There's so many good shows right now. I mean, it's hard to keep up with all of them. I've been watching. I think I finished most of the other ones. Yeah, Fallout's really the only ongoing one I'm keeping up with right now. But I finished Pluribus, which was like decent.
yeah, I'm trying to remember what I watched the other day, 'cause I thought watched a movie, but, I guess maybe I didn't. 'Cause I
You
wanted to
thought you
watch
watched a movie?
well, it's all kinda blends together 'cause I wanted to watch, Rental Family 'cause I thought like, "Oh, I think that's coming out, and I'll do, like, Rental Family and watch some stuff," but I just might have been watching, like, a React channel to something else. Oh, nice, the one React channel I'm watching started doing Cowboy Bebop, and they're, watching that, so
Great
I'm
show.
watching that series. Yep.
That'd be a good one to rewatch.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't think I have anything else noted. I think that's.
What's the next game you're gonna play?
Well, I want to play. I want to stream Baby Steps, but I just haven't had a chance to stream yet because I'm like I keep
Have you
I'll
even
watch a
started it
show.
yet, or
I started it a bit just to when I first picked it up just to see like
how
you
how
know
frustrating will this game actually be?
N not necessarily how frustrating it'll be, but, like, what how does it play mechanically, yada,
Yeah.
yada, and, yeah, it was just, it was fun. Man, what I wish I could remember when I did watch. Yeah, because I know I watched Fallout because that comes out on, what, Tuesdays, I think? Um,
Um, yeah.
yeah, I think it comes out on Tuesdays.
I was
Anyways,
thinking, like, is it Thursdays? What end? I don't know when it actually does come out.
yeah, what did I wa Oh, I watched Mi that's what I watched. I watched, Mickey 17. Um
Mickey 17 was enjoyable.
Yeah, that's the one where I was like, "Oh, this is like a comedy version of Soma." That's the video game thing. It was like, "Oh, because like, yeah, because the is the you that goes into that gets reborn really you just because you have memories?" And there's that bit in Soma where, they the one that you hear him not get deleted quick enough. And then there's obviously the spoilers, but it happens pretty quick, the 2 Mickeys. And it's very Outer Worlds, like, as well. It's Outer Worlds comedy Soma. Because it's like, it'd be like, oh, evil corporation, not evil corporation, like, corrupt corporation doing a thing, and they use people that get reprinted to experiment with, be like, oh, try out. I mean, that's literally an episode of Secret Level for Outer Worlds.
I thought the humor in that movie was great. They're just, like, so nonchalant about all of it. I thought it was pretty brilliant.
Yeah, the veneers that what's his face wears, it's like so off-putting because like just they're clearly fake teeth, the whole time. But yeah, it was fun. I was like, oh, this would be it's like very video gamey. It's like reminds me a lot of like Returnal. Like, oh, you die, you come back, and you have all your memories, or at least the bulk of them. But yeah, that was fun. So yeah, I watched that, and then Fallout and stuff. So I just didn't have a chance. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this and build some Warhammer and not stream, but I do want to stream Play Baby Steps. And obviously, we got Resident Evil coming out in the next month, so I got to prepare for that.
Are you actually gonna get Resident Evil when it comes out?
Yeah, I'll get Resident Evil when it comes out, and I don't know if I'll stream it, but I'll definitely play it. I want to be as a big game. I want to be like part of the conversation when it first comes out because I know a lot of people will be talking about it on podcasts and whatnot.
They're gonna be talking
Yeah,
about all the watch ads in the game,
that's right.
the
On all the
porch or
vehicles.
the Porsche ads.
Yeah, because yeah, there's a
Dude,
lot
that
of.
was so bad. That was so bad.
You know what I want to play is I never played. on PC anyways, is PUBG has, like, a casual mode. I've been watching Northern Lions been playing a lot of PUBG, and they have, like, this hour of casual you can queue, where it's essentially, like, it's the original map but it's got, like, the snow effect they have going on right now. And you essentially have a bunch of bots and then a couple players, kinda like when you start a new account, and you have, like, your low MMR. This happened on, mobile because I played PUBG on mobile back in the day, and it'll be, like, a lot of bots, and then the last like, only a couple people in the lobby will be real players, and that's kinda what they do here. It's like, oh, it'll be more people your MMR and just a bunch of bots, and usually, like, the last 2 or 3 people will be real players. But it's like an hour you get only an hour allocated to this casual mode, and but PUBG is free. So I'm like, I kinda wanna play, like, just the casual PUBG. I talk a lot about how I miss multiplayer with bot support that used to exist on PS2, uh, and whatnot, and, it's like I miss that era of just being able like, "Oh, we just, load up time splitters, couple people, and a bunch of bots," and, like, it's just I wish I could do that with more stuff. Like, I would love to go back and, like, play Apex Legends, but be like, just make it a bot lobby, but, like, make them, like some bots are really aggressive with high accuracy, so I have, like, some challenge still, like, that way I don't have to play against other people. Like, I would play so much more if that was the case. I mean, even Battlefield does that. Battlefield 6 where it's like, if people drop or they don't get quite enough, they will fill in with some bots, but as people connect, they will replace those bots with, actual players. Now, that didn't happen that happened a bit in the beta because it's like, okay, there's a lot in the beta, but depending on time you play, there might not be everybody there. But, I don't know how much it happened when the game launched because then there was, like, a ton of people playing, blah, blah, blah. But, it's like, yeah, I wish I could do that, just play these games that are multiplayer, but against bots, just so I can kinda relax. No sweats. But that's why I thought it'd be funny if we, like, all played it.
I feel like a lot of those games, like, they're not as enjoyable when it's just bots. When it's not sweats, I feel like it just sometimes doesn't hit right.
But it's fun, like, I just wanna shoot stuff and, like, you're just waiting to get to the end where it's like, "Okay, these are the real players," or, "Oh, it is the one player it's like, "This is a real person, I thought it was a bot," or, like, because your play style will change entirely. I mean, it's so funny watching Northernlion because like, he's not, like, super great at the game, but because they're bots, like, he does really well, he'll get, like, a lot of kills, and at the end and it's funny, he'll get, like, a lot of stream snipers from his chat show up at the end, so it'll be, like, really goofy final circles, but, like, as soon as casual's over and he goes into normal games, it's like it's a different beast entirely, and, like, he's not having fun. It's really funny. Um, but it reminds me a lot of, like, oh, if you could just go into that mentality of just assume they're bots, it's a bot lobby, you play totally different. Because I had that happen a lot in Fortnite, where whenever I played Fortnite solo and I was, like, trying to go for the win versus, "Oh, I'm just gonna do some dailies and not really care." Every time I went in just not caring to do the dailies, I would, like, get top 2 or I'd win. I had this one game, I was like, "I'm just here to do some dailies," and, like, I won, and I got, like, a bunch of kills, and I got, like, 11 kills in that game, which back for me was a lot in Fortnite. And, back this was, like, the build era too, this isn't, like, a no build, era, and I was like, yeah, I just went in and played and, like, because I had that I don't really care, I got do my dailies. It's like, it removes all that pressure, I guess, of actually trying, and, so I think that's why it's like, you're just more relaxed and you play better. But yeah, just because it's you're like, I really wanna play Apex Legends again because I had a lot of fun with it. I'm sure I'd have more fun if I went back to it, but, like, it's such a different beast now. It's like there's no and there is ranked, which is why I do like ranked play in video games because then I can go in and be like, "Oh, put me back at Dirt League, and I will just work my way up. The only thing I have to worry about is Smurfs, and hopefully there's enough people playing that I don't run into them, even though I am, in theory, a
A
semi-Smurf
Smurf,
because I
kinda.
have played before, but it will bump me I'll get enough points that at least the game will bump you up super quick. Like, I really wanna play that's why when I play StarCraft, I only play against the AI, and I think the AI works really well in StarCraft because it's 1v1, and they also have different AI, like, profiles, like, "Oh, the computer you're fighting now, they're gonna do an econ build. You don't know that unless you scout, but you don't know that from the start. Like, are they gonna be hyper aggressive? Are they gonna do like a two base all in? Are they gonna do one base all in? Are they gonna do an economy expanse? Are they gonna quickly rush three bases? Are they so like the uncertainty of what they're going to do, and so you still have to scout in that game. It's like it's fun because I play against like the highest level difficulty of AI because I can still beat them if I scout it pretty easily. But like if I go in to play a normal person, be like, sure, if I play someone in bronze league, I'll beat their ass. But once I start getting up to, back to gold or something, be like, okay, now my it's like I don't want to smurf because I know so much of that game, even though a lot of it's changed. I don't want to be like that. It's like I just play against the bots. I just wish I could do that in more video games.
I feel like as long as a video game actually has good bot design, then yeah, it can be fun. But I do feel like a
Yeah.
lot of them, the bot design is just not really actually that enjoyable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish because I'm watching him play. Like, sometimes you'll see like bots, like they got very bot behaviors. Like, okay, person would do that. Like, I wish I could private server set the bots, but set the aggression level, which I think you could do in like time splitters. Like, I think there was like a star difficulty or something. Like, oh, I want 10, or no, not that there was that many. It was like hypothetically, it's like, okay, give me 10 bots that are 1 star. So they're just fodder. Give me 10 bots that are 2 star and 10 bots that are 3 stars. So you got bots with like really good aim, got your average bots, and it's like yada yada. So it's like, okay, you never know who you're gonna run into. And I know like I think Rainbow Six Siege has like a a bot mode where you can like go in and try out new maps because that's the biggest probably map awareness is the biggest issue in Rainbow Six Siege. It's not even necessarily what operators do; it's just knowing entry points and stuff like that. So like you can go in and play against bots to learn the maps, and I think that's really a really good idea for that game. And I just wish I wish more games had that. Um, but
I'm trying to think
yeah,
of
so
like the last games I actually played with bots, but I do feel like it's been quite a while since I've actually done that.
I mean, I used to play Terrorist Hunt in Rainbow Six Siege or Rainbow Six Vegas like all the time, and that was like just bots. The problem with the bots in Rainbow Six Vegas 2 was that they were super cheap in that game, and like once one of them knew where you were, all the other ones knew, and they would just rush you, and that was always like what made that not fun in that game. It's like, okay, well, if they know where I am now, everybody knows where I am. It doesn't matter. It's like, why am I playing it? It's like yada yada blah blah blah. And then I think in Vegas 1, the issue they had was not every bot would spawn in at the same time, so you'd have to still, like, move through the levels, like, "Shit, where's the last couple bots?" And, like, spawn behind you, and you're like, "Oh, no." And then they get you. Like, "Okay, well, that's no good," but yeah, I feel like I can bring bots back. Just, man, what was there was something another game with, like it was either bots or just the way the AI works. It's like, "Oh, man, I wish I could remember what it was. It might have been a single player game, and they just tweaked the AI or something depending on what difficulty you had, but it was like, oh, they oh, Gray Zone Warfare. That's what it was because they have bots in that, and like playing against the bots in that can be super challenging. And they definitely changed it how they behave to where okay, they don't have super headshot accuracy anymore, but like the bots in that game are like super challenging still, especially if you don't have like perfect weapon loadouts and whatnot. Like I like the bots in that game because it's like okay, these guys you can't mess around. You mess around, you're gonna die. Like you still have to play tactically. So I feel like they have great bots in that game. But anyways,
There's just
I
something to be said about the rage though when you kill a human, you know?
you're in a rage. You're like, "Ah, suck it." But there is fun. It like I said, that's why I like the idea. Like it'd be cool if like the casual you could be like maybe 60% bots and 40% players or something. But uh, be have your skill based matchmaking in there or something. But I do think it's fun just to be like, hey, get in there. I want to play this game, especially because like you don't run into dependent. That game's so big. It's like a lot of the early game is just looting up and then going into the circle, and that like the gameplay is how do you deal with the circle? And then it's like, okay, people will probably come in from here, from there, blah 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 blah, and then playing that, and it again the uncertainty of is this person real or not? You probably will learn it pretty quick. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'll start playing. I'll just play like an hour a day. Be like, okay, this
I
is
think
fun.
you should do baby steps. I feel like that would be a fun game to watch you stream.
Yeah, I was enjoying like the little bit I played where you get up to the first like campfire or whatever. I was like, okay, this I could see having a lot of fun. And I'm sure it'll probably be even harder when I'm talking, like and
Yeah.
not like dedicating 100% of my my time to it. So I'll probably hopefully
I just
I'll
want to see if you get like triggered by the game or if you actually like if it just doesn't phase you at all. Because I
oh
could see that
man.
that
Yeah.
game going either way for you. Like you could be the personality type where it's like this is fine, doesn't bother me at all, or it's gonna stress you the fuck out.
Yeah, if it happens like multiple times and it takes me like a big way down, I'm gonna be like, fuck. I'm gonna be super annoyed, but we'll see what happens. Maybe fun. Hopefully, maybe I don't know about tonight. I might paint some Warhammer. I got a new dreadnought, and I'm gonna paint him in the salamander green scheme and start working on salamanders. But I want to. I still got to paint a bunch of my other guys. I finished up my zone throws, which was great. What else did I finish? I finished up some more of my little dudes. It's like so much easier to finish up the I started working on one of my big bugs. He's like 50% looking out there. Had to put up another one of my shelves on the wall so I could fit more stuff up. But yeah, it's just a I like doing that. It's just fun, therapeutic. It's like that's the thing too. Is like just like sometimes I'm just like I don't know if I want to stream. Like I'm sure I'd have fun. It's like one of those things. Like what do I do? I want to play a game. Do I want to watch something do Warhammer? Do I want to stream if I play a game? You know what I mean? Like do I want
Yeah.
to stream put together Warhammer? It's like I have to
Sometimes you
kind
just
of
want to turn your brain off and do chill.
and just relax, and yeah, it's like, you know, and then if I stream and people are there in chat, it's like then it's a little then I'm having a better time. But it's like, yeah, it's because it's been a while. It's like, oh, that initial step, like, okay, no one's there, maybe, or people are. I got the lurkers like Andrea lurking. She's always lurking because she's usually playing her own stuff. And a couple of folks usually always lurking. It's like it not having the active chatters and just chatting. Sometimes be like, am I in that mood to just talking to
Talk
the
at yourself and
well,
talking to the void.
I'm talking to like they're listening, but she's not responding because again she's doing her own stuff. Like that, there's a lot of times where I'll be doing dishes and watching like Clever, who's another small streamer buddy I watch sometimes. He's also had a different schedule. He hasn't been doing, but like I'll be doing dishes and listening, and then he says something. I'm like, oh man, I have the perfect joke, but I can't get to the computer fast enough to type it. I'm like, fuck. Or I'll be like, I'm doing Warhammer and I'm painting while he's playing, and then I'm just listening, and then he says something. I gotta like move everything out of my way so I could type on my keyboards to come back to the whatever he said, like the joke. And I'm like, you have no idea how much stuff I had to move out of my way in order to type that. Like, there's so many opportunities for it. And I'm like, um, but yeah, it'll be, I don't know. I gotta figure. I'll if I, is the problem is like I would if I had more time to do other stuff in the day, it'd be so much easier to stream. Um, since like okay, I can at least do some stuff that's not streaming, or I just gotta go to a schedule that's not every day. I gotta do like a Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of schedule, and then I could be more consistent with it again.
Well, I
Um,
mean, and also you should just do it when it's fun, right? Like you shouldn't try to force yourself to stream if it's not
well,
hitting the
that's the
spot
problem.
on a particular day.
But it's that thing of like, "Oh, man, I'm not looking forward to working out today because 'cause it's been a busy day at work." But then I do my workout, I'm like, "Oh, man, I feel great." And it's like, I'm like, "Oh, I'm not in the mental space to stream yet." But then I start streaming, I'm playing a game, which I wanna play, and then, if I'm chatting with folks in chat, and, like, then I'm having a good time. But it's that initial lead up of, like, is there something else that could be I have multiple things that could kinda, make me happy, I guess you could say. And it's like, what do I wanna do? And it's always it's like food, like, "Oh, I wanna eat this, but if I eat this, like, oh, this other thing sounds good." And it's like, well, which one do I really want to go for? Do I want to play a game? Do I want to Warhammer? Do I want to stream? They'll all work. It's like which one's speaking to me the most right now. A lot of it does come down to just I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. I do want to play baby. I want to play baby steps. When I play baby steps, I want to stream it. So that'll be at least two things I want to do.
I want you to stream baby steps because I want to see you lose your shit that game.
Oh,
Or you're going to be like weirdly good at it and it's going to piss me off because you're so good at it.
there you go. I'm sure it'll be super challenging. I'm guessing the beginning is like a little easier than they're leading off the rest of it, so it'll get tough. But anyways, all right. Well, I think go ahead and wrap up there. I gotta go get some groceries and whatnot, and I did a hack where I put my grocery
Ugh,
order in
groceries are
last
always
night.
the worst.
Well, I my problem is I always do inventory, like, after the podcast, but then by the time I do that, they have no fridge space. I'm like, "Oh, I can't place my order because there's no fridge space for the cold stuff, so I have to wait," and then I don't get my groceries till, like, 4 o'clock or some shit. But I'm like, "I'll just do it the night before, either before closing or after closing to where it's queued as the first order in the morning, and then by the time I'm done with the podcast, I could just go pick it up." So, I'll probably just do that. I gotta do some meal prep anyways. I've been doing, I changed my lifting routine to I went back to a 5 by 5 this year because I wanna just go back. I never capped out on it back in the day. I just stopped and switched routines and then, never plateaued on any of my
Wasn't
big
that like your
lifts.
favorite routine? I feel like that was
No.
the one you like recommended I do originally too.
Well, it's like it's a starting strength. It's like it's what
Yeah.
they call it. It's really good to do if you're starting just to do because you're learning the movements, you're getting all down, and also you're building the strength. And then once you plateau, you can because you can carry that because if you're only adding 5 or 10 pounds a workout, like especially at the beginning, you can linearly progress like crazy, and it'll feel super easy in the beginning depending on your strength levels. But you're working on that form and it's just a simple routine. It's just 3 times a week, 5 by 5, and you just change which ones you do, every other workout, A, B, A, B, A, B. And so I was like, "Oh, I'll go back to that for now for this year, maybe run it for like 3 months or until I plateau, then deload and then go back to hypertrophy routine with some strength lifts built in," which is what I wanted to do with the routine, but it's like it was splitting it up, doing like, okay, this one's gonna be like my bench focus, and then other workouts, and this one's gonna be my overhead press, and another, and this is gonna be my squats. Like those are fine, but it was like it. I don't know, because I had taken a I hadn't done any of the big lifts for a while. Like all those lifts, like they were okay, but I want to like get them back up to like a high point. And then like I stopped deadlifting at two. I The last time I did deadlifts wasn't even part of a 5x5. I just had them in routine. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have deadlifts in this. I stopped at like 265 for sets of 8 with 7 RPE, which is like a 1 rep max estimate of I think 322, 325. So like, and it wasn't like hard. So I stopped at 8. I just 8 was my cutoff, and I stopped. So I had like reps in the tank still, so like I could have kept going. So like, and I just stopped there as well, and that one too. And I'm like, and same with squats. I just stopped. Like I think what happened was when I look back I was looking back at my old lifting logs on my iPhone is because we moved. Because I did 5x5 in 2022 into 2023, and then I stopped 5x5. I think because we went on vacation or something, and then I went back to doing, okay, I'll just do, this will be squat day plus other leg exercises, and this will be deadlift day, and like I did those and whatnot. And then we moved, and because we weren't on, we're upstairs in this unit because we're above the garages. I didn't want to. I was like, oh, I had concern over doing super heavy lifting because it's not like, you don't want to drop a bunch of heavy weight on the second floor, despite the tolerances of the structure. So like, oh, I'll not do that. I'll just do some hypertrophy stuff. And I was like, no, I can work back up to it. It'll be fine. And so that's why I'm doing it again. But I forgot how hungry it makes you. And so like, it's like, man, I gotta do some more meal prep. I've been doing those breakfast crunch wraps, but I made some like lazy ones the other day. I gotta go back and make some like actual.
Breakfast crunch wraps.
Oh, they're so good, man.
I haven't had them, but it just sounds so like high school.
Just so easy to make, because like the easiest way you could do it is just get, frozen beef patty, get some frozen hash brown patties, just cook up a batch of 1 to 1 of each, get some cheese, get some microwave bacon or something, cut it up, put it on there, fold it up, make a crunch wrap, cook it on both sides, throw it in the freezer. That shit, just wrap it up in some parchment paper, and then you just reheat it for like 2.5 minutes. It's like such an easy, because they stay frozen for so long. But I got to make the better version of it today, so I can, because I'm using the smaller tortillas. I was using like taco size tortillas, and then I take street tacos as the way to make them closed, because there'd be like a gap because the tortilla wouldn't be big enough. But if you take a proper burrito size tortilla, then what you do is you smush the beef patty onto the taco tortilla, and you just cook it. It's like super thin. Cook it real quick in the pan. Flip it over. Maybe put some cheese on. Cook up some eggs, all this stuff. Put it on the big tortilla. Put everything on there. Fold it up. Yada yada. Like that's the way I made it previously, but it takes longer. Where this is just like the quick ones are just throw shit in the air fryer in the oven. It's just so much faster. And when you're done, just wrap them up, and like with all your stuff, it's so much quicker. But I kind of want to make the bigger version of it, and yada yada yada. But anyway, yeah, grocery shopping, fun times.
It's the worst. I know. I'm making my own list right now because you reminded me. It's the worst though.
I got laundry, man. Laundry's the worst.
Also the worst. It's all the worst.
I hate it, man. Laundry. Ugh. Anyways, all right. Well, we can go ahead and wrap it up there. So
Yeah.
thank you all for tuning this. Thank you, Isli, for joining.
Yep.
And we'll see you all next time.
Later.